Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to 45 TV. On this particular program, we've not coined a name for it yet. What we do on this show is that we bring to you guys people doing amazing stuff in the community so that they share their stories for it to inspire you guys, so that you guys can also draw some inspiration to become like them or even higher or better than they are. Last time we had an episode, we brought to you Wodemaya, who shared a very rich story or a very rich experience of his with us. Today, I have with me in the studio someone who is very passionate with what he does, and he does that with much enthusiasm. I have with me Jesse Delali in the studio. Hello, Jess.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't complain. Everything is well.
I can tell from your accent. I mean, very smooth, very sleek. Yeah, so we're going to start the conversation with Jesse introducing himself to you guys, and we get to know a bit about his background and all of that. So Jesse, before he introduces himself, he's a drummer. But apart from that, Jesse, who are you? What's your background and all of that?
Lee, thank you so much for having me, 45 TV. It's such an honor and privilege to be here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Wow. So my name is Jesse Delali Kwame Disu. I was born in Norway, Oslo, Norway. I was shipped to Ghana. The reason why I said shipped, because my mom always used that term to just kind of, make fun of me. But I moved to Ghana when I was 3-4 years old. Thereabout. Live with my extended family, uncle, aunties. You know how it is in Ghana. You have a big family.
Yeah, Delali, let me just chip in this. So if I get you well, you moved to Ghana without your parents.
Yes, I moved to Ghana without my parents because
Wow.
my dad was in school at that time. He was doing his master's program.
Okay.
So it was just ideal for me to go back home where there's so much support. Uncles there, aunties, everyone is doing well. So they trusted me and with my aunties. And that's where it all began for me. And I feel like that move changed my whole life. If I was living outside, I don't think I would be where I am. I mean, God has his own ways of, putting plans together. And you know how the Bible says that in when he was talking about Jeremiah, in your mother's womb I knew you. So I feel like that resonates so much with me. So I moved to Ghana, stayed with my extended family, and born and raised in church. Literally, like, there's a home and there's a church. Yes, like you can call me a PK. My granddad was a pastor, and then he passed it over to my uncle. My granddad, God bless his soul, he's moved on to be with the Lord. So he passed it on to his son, who was my uncle, and that was it. So born and raised in church. Yeah, church.
See, I mean, when you were sharing your background, you mentioned that you thank God that you moved to Ghana from Norway, and you wouldn't probably have known what would have happened to you if you were in Norway.
Yes.
And something just clicked to me. Probably you could have been Erling Haaland's best friend, and the two of you would have been playing in the Norwegian national team and all of that. But again, let's just thank God for all the blessings that he bestows upon us, even without our knowledge, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you got to Ghana, I believe you started schooling.
Yes.
So did you get to experience the Ghanaian government school, which is popularly known as Saito, or you got the privilege to attend a private school? And so walk us through the trajectory from your schooling days to graduating from college, and then what life was after graduating from college.
Sure, absolutely. So, so the typical, public school, I went to Ministry of Health basic school. It was like a basic school. It was affiliated with
MOH, that area.
The teaching hospital. Yeah.
So you know Latabia.
Yes, I know all the ends. I know the trenches, bro. I know the trenches.
See.
So started school, went through that grade school. We call it class 1 to 6, whatever. Went through it beautifully. And while I was in school, I was part of the marching band. I was playing the bass drum.
Okay.
That's what I was assigned to. So you catch me playing that every Wednesday assembly. I don't know if you remember assembly.
Yeah.
We have like the whole school,
yes,
like just it's a way of just giving your day to God, right? Before
worship
school.
time.
Yeah, worship time.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where it all started, marching band, and then sometimes we will fight for sticks. Man,
True.
crazy.
Typical
So,
Saito life.
yeah, just went through that whole process of basic school. We call it primary school. So went through it, and then I graduated. Went to senior high school, St. Thomas Aquinas Secondary School.
Oh, stop it there. Guess what? I'm also an auto.
No way!
I'm telling you. I'm an auto. I'm an auto.
Baby. That's crazy.
I wouldn't have imagined.
Wow.
Come
What are the
on.
odds, bro?
When you were about to mention your high school,
Yeah.
two names were ringing in my mind. I was thinking you were going to mention Pesco or Presec.
Nah.
You surprised me. Oh,
Nah,
it's good to
the best
catch up
school in
with
town. Yeah, best school in
Tell
Ghana.
them.
The best school in Ghana, St. Thomas Aquinas. Wow. No way.
Wow. So
That's
from
crazy.
Aquinas, I think you got into Legon, right?
Yes. So did the 3 years. My batch was the whole 4 years, 3 years thing.
yeah.
So I graduated successfully. Just went straight into University of Ghana, the premium university in Ghana. That's where I started. I studied political science and archaeology. And that's where the whole journey began.
But before you continue, right? Sorry to catch you.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about some funny story of yours with University of Ghana.
Okay.
I did a little digging about you, and then I saw something very funny. Somewhere around 1st of November 2018, you were in Ghana playing drums. And then around 18th, 19th of November, you were outside Ghana, wearing University of Ghana gown, celebrating your graduation. Tell us a bit about that.
So hilarious. That moment was crazy. Wow. That's very interesting. So a little bit of backstory about that moment. So I was doing my national service back home. For those of you who don't know national service, after university, you're supposed to work for a year. And during that time with that insurance company I was working with, I was obviously doing music on the side. And at that point, I had an engagement to be in Toronto and also be in Montreal at 2 different times in November, right?
Yeah.
So then I had my graduation. I'm like, how am I going to do this? So I registered, sign up. I'm like, yo, I'm going to be at that graduation. Took my gown. I'm like, yo, you know what? I have a plan. So then I brought it all the way to Toronto. Brought it here. And that gig was with Minister Joe Meadow. God bless his soul. We did that gig on a Saturday, and then I flew out on a Sunday to Montreal for that conference. It was like a Model UN United Nations conference, whatever, with a couple of friends. Shout outs to my boy Gansa. Shout outs to my boy MI and the whole crew. We all put that together. So I had a plan. I'm like, after that conference, I'm gonna rock my gown in my suit and just take pictures. Like, you know, in the snow too.
Oh, so did you return the gown back to University of Ghana?
Man, I had that gown for a minute. I had it for 2 to 3 months. I can't lie.
Oh,
but obviously when I returned, I had to pay penalty on that. But I mean, which is cool. I made it work.
That's great.
Yeah, so I took pictures in the snow and I posted it, and oh man, my page went crazy. You know, obviously people back home was like, "Wait, there's no snow in Ghana.
Yeah,
how do you have
which part of UG is there snow?" And
snow, you know what I mean? But it was so fun, and the comments was crazy. If you haven't seen that picture, you can go check it out on my page. But yeah, it was so beautiful. Yeah,
good. I want us to steer the conversation into your art, into your talent, right? At what point in time did you discover that you discover the talent of playing drum or the talent of music?
Right.
At what stage in time did you realize that you really had that talent to play drums or to do music?
Right. Yeah, sure. So again, a little bit of backstory. I grew up into like a music family. Mom plays keys, plays bass. My uncle plays everything. Like my mom's side, musically talented.
Wait, is your mom white or your mom is Ghanaian?
She's Ghanaian, full Ghanaian.
Okay. And your
Mama
dad?
Peace is definitely Ghanaian.
Okay. So both parents are black?
Yes, both parents.
Are
both
Ghanaian?
parents, yes.
Okay.
Same, from the same tribe. We're Ewe, so we're from the same tribe. So my mom plays everything, like I mentioned. My auntie sings. So I grew up into music where like at church, you see my uncle playing drums, my mom playing keys, and then my granddad preaching after. So it's like, it's like a family ministry, so to speak. So I just happened to be brought up in that. So my uncle just posed me one time. It's like, yo, you need to learn drums. Started teaching me drums, basics. I'm like, oh, I love this. And even before that, I would go to church. I'm at the music, exactly, the music side. Yeah, exactly, music department, whatever you want to call it. Just watching and admiring whoever was playing. And after church, I'll just you see me pick up sticks, just go on, try to mimic. Okay. That's when I kind of realized that I had a passion for this, because I'll just go to church and I'm just by the drums, just looking at whoever's playing. So again, goes back to what I was saying. God does
amazing stuff
in amazing ways. And the drummer at that time left the church. So guess who had to, be put on? I had to fill in. But mind you, I had no experience, nothing.
And you were not so good at the time.
Exactly. So little. So my uncle would just teach me 1-2 stuff. Sometimes like you beat me while he was teaching me. Ghana training. Like I remember so well. I was learning how to play praises. Man, I wouldn't get it right because of paddings. You're using all your limbs. And then I wouldn't get it right. He'd just give me a knock. I'm like, oh man. So sometimes I'll even stop drumming. I'll run to my mom. Mom, I can't do this no more. I don't want to do this. And mom was like, don't worry. Thank God for moms though. That support, encouragement, man.
Wait, with the mention of mom here.
Yeah.
Is it your biological mom?
Yeah, my biological mom. So
there was a point in time where she came with you.
Exactly.
Or obviously when you're moving from Norway to Ghana, she came with you.
So when I was moving from Ghana, I came by myself. They just gave me to someone.
Okay. But then there was a point in time where your mom came to Ghana
she came down. She came down too. So she came down. She was with us for a little bit. I remember so well.
Okay.
We had about, I'll say, if I'm not mistaken, 4 to 5 years together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's when the story got really, really real. Just because being with mom, obviously I never really had that experience with my dad, because he was studying, doing his thing. Obviously to make sure the family is good. So I'll run back to my mom's. Mom is like, you know what, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Just take it a step at a time, just encouraging me. So then I'll go back, clean my tears, and then back to practicing. And then I realized that I got better. While I was doing that, my brother was on keys too, learning how to play keys.
Oh.
Because he played, my older brother, he plays the keyboard so well. And so we kind of just started learning from there.
And it grew into
I loved it. So when I went to high school, I took it very seriously. Remember I told you in primary school I was playing the bass drum. So obviously I had an idea. I met a couple guys along the way too in my class who played. So we kind of share ideas. Sometimes I'll go to his church to trying to learn. Then high school happened, and then I picked it up. Was in the music team. I forgot what it's called right now. I can't remember what we had a team where like we always had like a worship service. Like every year we have it once a year on Saturday.
I think it's
I don't know if you remember.
Aquinas Praise.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So we had a bunch of guys on the team. We just rehearse and then come just work. It's a time of worship. So so gradually, and I met this incredible, talented guy, Geraldo. If you're watching this, shout outs to you, Geraldo. Man, I heard so much about this guy, but never saw him in school because he's always doing gigs.
Wow.
This guy's never in class. Can you imagine?
Yeah, we're gonna go into that. Right. So that's an interesting share from you. You shared with us how you learned the skill of playing drums and all of that. So I was going to ask you, which side of the spectrum are you on the debate of skills like this are gifts that are born with, or you are supposed to apply yourself and learn how to acquire them and perfect them? Where do you stand in this debate?
That's a very good question. I believe God gives gifts and talents. I mean, I don't want to go into scripture, but we all hear about the parable of the talents, right? I believe God gives gifts to people that are exceptionally so good at what they do. Like there's some people they never learn how to do how to be good at what they do. Just effortlessly. A typical example is Steph Curry. I feel like he was born to be a basketball
Football player.
player. Like, you know, some people you just know, like, yo, this is what God has given them.
Mhm.
So I fall under that. I feel like God gave me a gift, but I had to learn,
Mhm.
you know, I had to learn more.
Yeah.
God gives you the gift. You have to know you have this gift, and you have to learn
And develop the
you know,
gift.
develop the gift from the grassroots.
I see it.
So it makes it so easy because you know this is a gift,
Mm.
right? You don't
Mm.
have to struggle.
Mm.
I know there's another debate about Messi and C Ronaldo.
Exactly. You're not going to go into that at all. Okay, so
But yeah.
having perfected the art of
Yeah.
playing drums, I
Yeah.
know you can sing as well.
Oh,
I saw
man.
a video of you singing a rendition of "You Are Worthy of It All."
Oh
and
yeah,
it was
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. I
It
did
was so
that on
nice.
my
So
page.
having perfected the act of drumming, and I believe you went into the what they call in Ghana, it's called shabu,
Yeah.
but it's gigs, right?
Yeah,
So
it's gigs.
you got into that business. How
Yeah.
lucrative was it? Or how lucrative is a gigs thing back
Right.
in Ghana?
I'll say it was good to some extent.
Mm.
I mean, it will hold you down for the most part. But one thing I believed growing up, I looked up to my older heads, and one advice they gave me was like, the music is not enough.
Mm.
Having one stream of income is never enough, especially as a musician.
Mm.
You would have to have things going on the side. So I took that. I ran with it. I went to school. I was working while I was doing those gigs. And mind
Okay.
you, and I mean, I can say this to the glory of God that it really helped,
Mm.
because having something on the side and you doing music, it just makes
Yeah.
it very, very
Adds things
easy.
up. Yeah.
Exactly. And God makes it so easy. And I mean, to the glory of God, we don't struggle, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say in Ghana, I mean, I can speak from my time. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is like now, but in my time, it was good.
Mhm.
It was good. I would say it was good because I was playing with Akessa Brimpong,
Oh.
and then I had other gigs on the side, right?
Yeah.
Just doing, oh, I need you for a worship night, come play, you know, and then they'll give you something, you know. And then obviously you're living at home, you're not paying rent,
Exactly.
right? And you know, you're just living free, you know,
exactly.
right?
I see that.
So it kind of held you down. You can
Yeah.
get some stuff here, save up, buy stuff here and there. So I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
It was good.
Okay.
It was good for me. I can't say it was bad. And like I said, mind you, I had something going on
Going
the
on
side.
the side
So
as well.
it was easy. And my parents too. My parents were very, very supportive. I'll say this everywhere, man. If I wouldn't be here without my parents.
Awesome.
My mom would always buy me steaks. Can you imagine? Just ship it down. Buy me drums. Buy me this. Like, I needed earplugs. You just buy for me. You know? So I like I said, I wouldn't be here without my mom. Because there are times where like you hear different stories. Oh, my mom doesn't want me to do this. You know, she's not supportive. You know, they want me to do. You know how this guy, they want you to
most
be.
parents actually
Exactly.
would define the particular career path for you and force you
Thank
to
you to
chart
do
that
it.
particular path.
If you don't do it, then I'm not putting in bread there.
Yeah,
Like
I see it.
if you don't do what I say, then forget it. I'm not supporting you. But my mom was otherwise. She was very supportive. She's like, oh, do this. I know you want to do music, but just do this.
On the side as well.
And exactly. So that really helped me. So I'll say it was good. It was
amazing,
good for the most
amazing.
part.
Viewers, we are having a talk with Jesse Delali, and Jesse is a drummer, a talented one, of course, and he shared with us an amazing experience of his development and growth through perfecting the art of drumming and all of that, right? We are going to zoom into a different dimension of this conversation. You are a young guy who learned the art of playing drums, perfected it, did gigs and shabos and all of that, and then all of a sudden you got into contact with Joe Metal, started playing drums for Joe Metal, and then I believe other renowned artists as well.
Yes.
I also know that you had a time with Ntokozo Mbambo.
Yes.
How did you get to this point? How did you, at what point in time did you really make these contacts? What led to what for you to get to see these people?
Absolutely. I feel like this is going to be the first time I'm going to be sharing that story. Outside, right? So
it's on 45 TV. I'm privileged to have you share this
very first time. So a little bit of backstory back in university. Let me backtrack a little bit. So there was one point in time I felt so useless, for lack of a better word. I felt like I was not good enough. I felt like I was just in a dark space, because at that point where like in my music career, no one wanted to use me. You hear people talk bad about you, talk ill about you, saying, oh, Jesse is not good. Nah, we don't want to use Jesse. I don't feel like it's good. Even sometimes to the point that you go to some rehearsals. Mind you, you've been booked for a gig. You get there and there's another drummer on the drums.
For real.
And the songs that you've been given, same drummer's playing it.
So what happens to your pay? Do they pay you?
I don't get paid. Because it's the next drummer on the drums and they've given you songs to play.
You don't sue them?
Oh man, we're
breach of contract.
But there's no contract even.
It's verbal.
It doesn't really hold much weight, right?
I see.
Yeah, so it's just an express contract. So yeah, you get there and then sometimes you leave and your heart is shattered. I remember one, I won't forget this night. It's just on my face right now. Back then when we had an all-night rehearsal, we're supposed to, play. We were 2 drummers. Had everything set up, giving me my songs, whatever. Bro, I get to rehearsal. My brother's on keys, whatever. So I went with him. And then it's time for me to play my songs. And then I hear, this other drummer's playing everything. So you don't really have to play. Go talk to someone else. I'm like, what do you mean?
Whoa.
Who am I supposed to talk to? And I talked to the other guy who I was supposed to talk to. Is like, oh, go talk to this other person. So no one is giving me a clear picture of what's going on. I'm just being thrown around. So that can you imagine that rehearsal? I didn't touch drums. I didn't touch sticks. I was just sitting down watching them the whole 8 hours. It was an all-night rehearsal.
Yeah.
And then my brother was playing. So I went back home. I can't lie. That day I cried. That morning I cried. It was Saturday morning. I cried so much.
Hard guy, yeah.
Yo.
This guy.
Yo, some moments in life, hard guy.
Wow.
Hard guy to go cut down. So at that point in my life, I felt like I wasn't good enough. People just talking bad about me. And I was I think I was in third year of university. So it was like a long, you know how we have a long break?
Yeah.
Man. So it was like from May to August.
August, yeah, because school resumes in September.
Exactly. And remember, backstory, I told you my uncle had a church.
Yes.
So we have a church at home. Obviously, I have equipments available to play, mess around with, just practice. I locked myself up that whole 3 months. It was pretty much just eating in church, praying, practicing, and playing. I kid you not. That whole 3 months, I downloaded. I get so emotional when I talk about this, but I downloaded videos on my laptop. I had this HP laptop back then. I would just go through it on YouTube, downloaded videos, just practicing chops, grooves, rudiment, just understanding music from the perspective of drumming.
Yeah.
And I was just in it. I was just like soaked in it. Every day you catch me on the drums. At one point, my uncle just got tired. I was like, yo, you're making too much noise. So I you know what? Shout outs to my mom again. I told mom I need practice pads just to put on my drums
or something.
Mom was like, say less. I got you. Sent it.
DB.
Oh man, nah. She sent it and it made practice easier. So then I used that whole time to just practice, play, and then I was just doing my thing. And I went back on campus. Went back on campus 4th year. And then we had one rehearsal for Crusade. We're getting ready. Man, I came on. I just showed up for rehearsal. They gave me the songs, came on, and it was like an audition. Man, to the glory of God, I killed it. People were like, yo, this is the same Jesse? What's going on? Yo, you killed it. The same people that are talking bad about me now hailing me up. It's like, what? No, you sound different. You play different now. Started getting gigs, exposure here and there. But at that crusade, I was given the song Great I Am. I remember that song so well. Great I Am. I would say that's my breakthrough song. So Joe Meadow was invited as a guest minister.
Okay.
So you know how Mass Choir, you have drummers, you have a bunch of drummers, keyboard players, everyone just out there just trying to express their gift, right? And Joe Meadow was supposed to go on. No, he went on. He did praise and worship. So my choir, University of Ghana Mass Choir, was supposed to go on and do administration. That song, Great I Am, I mentioned, right? So then I thought Minister Joe and his team had left
afterwards.
So then I mounted the drums, playing, and then the song comes on. I was just playing my heart out, passionately, right? I didn't care about who was around, whatever. I'm just doing my thing. Because I love playing for God. And then I played. It was all good. Like, you know, God's presence was evident. Everything went well. We ministered. I came off the stage and my other drummer, shout outs to you, Frager. He came, was like, bro, you killed it. Yo, Joe was even asking me who you were. I'm like, oh, you're a drummer. It's like, yo, Joe was feeling. He was like, yo, he's solid. And I was like, wow. I was like, yo, my head was big at that time. You know, so I was like, oh wow, it's such an honor to get that compliment from, you know, a minister of such caliber.
Yeah.
So then few weeks passed. I traveled to the States. I came back. So I hit up my boy Nilate, president for Team Eternity. Yeah, that's my boy. We grew up together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we grew up together. So I hit him up. I'm like, bro, you know, he hits me up. He's like, yo, what are you doing? I said, yo, I just got back from the States. I was like, yo, come with me. I'm going to go see Joe Meadow real quick. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll come. So we went into his office, and then Joe sees me. He's like, oh, I remember you from University of Ghana Masquerade.
Yeah.
You're the drummer, right? Yeah. So my boy Nee starts making jokes like, oh, Boga, he just landed or whatever. It's like, what? You travel? I'm like, yeah, I do travel. Like, I visit because my parents are in the States. And it's like, oh, okay, that's good. Well, I'm going back in the summer. Are you going to be there in the summer? I'm like, oh, most likely I'll be there. It's like, okay, I'm going to be there for 3 months. I have a tour.
Oh.
Do you want to do it?
I guess that is I saw you. I think I saw Joe Meadow minister at Houston.
Yes.
Was that part of it?
No, that was 2021. This story I'm talking about is 2018.
2018.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So then he was like, oh, sure, let's do it. So I talked to my mom. My mom's like, cool. Because, I mean, obviously, it's a long break. I'm done with school anyways.
Yeah.
I get to get that exposure before doing my national service. So I'll say Minister Joe Meadow really brought me out. Because even before that, he even asked me for my IG handle. He's like, oh, my music director, shout outs to you, Junior Newjan. He's based in California right now. Great guy. I love him so much. So he asked me for my IG handle. At that time, I didn't really have IG going on.
Yeah.
And then he gave me a piece of advice like, bro, in this industry, your works will speak for you. Sometimes you don't even have to be in that room.
Yeah.
The fact that you have a channel, you have some sort of social media, you have some sort of content. That's the word I was trying to use.
Yeah.
People just see what you do and want to invite you.
Reach
recommend.
out to you,
Thank you. So then that's when I started like putting more and more
out there.
Exactly. And then we did the tour. First stop was very incredible. And then that's where I met Junior. Junior coached me. You know, he really like, you know, was all out for me, right? Guiding me every step of the way. And that's how people started hearing, oh, Jesse. And then we did multiple stops. And then I went back to Ghana. So I'll say that experience really brought me out more to the point that the people that I know now are from that experience, like that whole tour.
Yeah.
Like speaking of the likes of Joel and Tiamankwa, Big J, my boss, you know, he heard about me through that tour. And then we connected a couple years after with that same gig I told you about for my graduation, right?
Yeah.
I was here with Joe Meadow, and we were playing with I was playing with them same guys on the team, Vince, Junior, Vince, and Joel. That's how we connected, and we built that long standing friendship and relationship, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I'll say that 3 months made a massive difference in my life.
Yeah. Your story speaks volumes of diligence, resilience, and some level of tenacity. And these stories are what we want to project and want to put out there to inspire people. So I'm really glad you were able to share this and pour out your experiences without any restrictions and without any holdbacks. I believe there's someone out there who is going to get inspired by the story you shared. Absolutely. So I think at a point in time, I like the way you give honor and recognition to people who played pivotal roles in your life at every point in time. You keep mentioning your mom, you keep mentioning your friends, and keep giving shout outs to all other people that in one way or the other helped you in some way or somehow, right? Did you at any point in time think of forming a band? Because you had a brother who could play an instrument, you had friends who could also play an instrument. Did you at any point in time think of, oh, let's come together, form a band and play and probably tour the world and do greater stuff? Did that ever cross your mind?
Man, I think that's something that never crossed my mind,
Oh,
to be honest.
it never did?
It never. I mean, I've had people recommended it, like, oh, you should do this, give me a piece of advice. Yo, you should form a band. But I didn't think it was for me at that time. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was still learning. I had so much to learn,
Mm.
right? So I was really, really focused on really gaining more knowledge. Because again, you can't give what you don't have,
It's true.
right?
It's
So I feel like it wasn't right at that time.
Okay.
Right. I don't know what would have happened if I did, but
Mm.
I feel like, yeah, it wasn't the right time for me.
So currently, what do you do now? What do you do now? And what is drumming or is music your main thing you are engaged in now, or it's a side thing, or it's an aside thing for you?
So if you remember, I mentioned, you're not, as a man, you're not supposed to have
One stream of income, multiple streams of income.
right? So with that being said, I went into school for insurance,
Yeah,
because I remember I was learning insurance. I was
Okay.
working in insurance back
company.
home.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let me take this a notch higher.
Yeah.
Just apply to schools out here, see what's going on.
Mm.
So I did, got in, graduated, got a job right after. So currently working in an insurance company.
Mm.
Been doing that for 4 years, going on 5. So I do music on the side.
On the side.
Music is not my mainstream. I do it on the side. I'm so privileged to have a job where it's flexible.
Mhm.
I work from home, so I can easily be anywhere at any time.
I think recently you had some ministration with Joe Metal in Canada here. I think the Open Heavens. I don't know how recent that was. Yeah.
That was incredible. At House of Praise. Oh wow,
Oh.
you did a lot of digging.
Yeah,
That's
I did a
crazy.
lot of digging on you. Okay, I want us to go back a little on church culture, right?
Yeah.
We are getting close to the end of the interview, so I want us to talk something about church culture. There's this growing perception about the behavior of instrumentalists in the church, and I want you to demystify some of these perceptions, right? That instrumentalists are perceived to be some sort of bad boys in the church. I mean, especially the keyboarders and then the drummers. I mean, if you do this mistake, they'll collect your girl. So honestly, like, one of the things that really pushed me to want to learn how to play an instrument, and a drum in particular, was that, okay, I also want to be noticed in church. When I'm playing drums, probably a chorister or one nice lady in the congregation will be like, oh wow, that drummer is very good. So what do you have to say regarding this particular notion that is out there?
Man, I can't even count a number of times I've heard this stigma. It's been going on for so long. We've been labeled as bad or whatever. I mean, I won't lie, it's true. You know how they say, oh,
I won't lie, it's true.
I mean, just being truthful. I'm just being truthful.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you an example that will to backtrace what I was saying. You know how we have good nuts, but one bad nut
spoils them all.
Just spoils the whole thing. And I think that's what's going on right now, right? It's sad, but I believe that it's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting better. And one thing I can say that helps or help stay strong, and because it's not easy. We meet a lot of people at every given point in time. Mind you, Satan was a worshiper. He was leading worship in heaven. So in as much as we have godly people, we're gonna have bad people.
Okay.
Right? Because the devil's trying.
I get it.
He's trying. But one thing remains true: the fear of God.
Yeah.
I feel like the fear of God opens your eyes to certain things to know, hey, this I can do. This I wouldn't do. Right? So I can just speak for myself. One thing that keeps me going, and I always share this with my friends and my family. I'm like, it's the fear of God, you know? Like knowing that God wouldn't like this.
You don't do that.
I don't know what would happen. And even to lose that gift God has given you, right? So I think that's what's keeping me going. And I want to say this, you're first a Christian before you even a musician.
Exactly. Most of the time, most of these guys who gets groomed in the church, right, after perfecting their talent, they secularize it, which is why they sort of like lose sight of that particular part of themselves. So they flip things the other way around, right? And then they think of themselves as maybe persons who are gifted and have the ability to do before they are Christians.
Yes.
But I like the way you are trying to shed light and amplify or emphasize the need that, see, you are first a Christian before you have the talent to play.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that was very spot on. Yeah. So like I was saying, you're first a Christian. You have to have that personal relationship with him. And like you said, the Holy Spirit is going to be your guide. He's everything we have.
Compass.
Exactly. Thank you. That's it. He's everything we have. Yo, you're preaching more than me, bro. You know? Yeah. So he is our guide. He's all we have. So I feel like if you have a personal relationship, you know him on a deeper level, you know who he is, it will convict you so much that you wouldn't do there's some things you wouldn't do, you know? So I feel like if every musician out there just goes through that whole process of knowing God for themselves, right? I feel like we'll be in a better place. There's something, yo, you know you're dating this girl. You don't have to double dip. Like the Holy Spirit will convict you like, bro, you're doing something right. You're doing something wrong. Just watch this. Right? It's hard. I'm not saying, yo, the Christian faith is not bread and butter, bro.
It's not easy.
It's very hard. Yo, we honestly, we go to these gigs. These girls come to us, like say hi, whatever. Like it's hard. It's hard to even stand strong. You have to, bro. I'm not saying there's no easy thing. Right? You have to make up your mind that, yo, you're here to bless lives. You're here to transform. Because this thing we're doing is spiritual. Yeah. Very spiritual. You playing the drums, that cymbal hit, that chord can bring can uplift someone.
I mean, I've chanced upon a scripture that says that, and they prophesied with their drums. So I mean, so that supports your assertion.
With cymbals.
Yeah, exactly.
Praise him with clashing cymbals. Exactly. All these things. Even David. Let's even go back. David, who is like our what word do you want to call it?
Model of an instrumentalist.
Exactly. Him played skillfully. Yeah. And that demons came out of people.
Yeah, sure.
So what we do is very serious. It's very serious. The weight is crazy. So I believe that we can mix the two. Like the Bible says, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and serve mammon. So, you know, I believe that if we follow in that route, just knowing God in deeper level and drawing people to Christ,
you know how to manage yourself and handle yourself.
Exactly. That's all I
that's going to bring me to my last question to you, and that has got to do with your Nicky, or I don't know if it's a mantra. I mean, he's called the smiling drummer. So you see the whole like, see the way the whole thing is. They are fine people. They are super talented, and they have very appealing names. I mean, for themselves, the smiling drummer. You obviously see this guy and you want to get close to him. How did you come by the name the smiling drummer?
Well, very interesting. So that I didn't come up with that name myself. Obviously, I love to express myself on the drums passionately, because I had that mindset, yo, it could be my last day drumming. I've heard stories, people sing and then they're no more the next day playing. So I've always vowed to give God my all. Like, God, this is for you. I enjoy what I'm doing. Like, it's such an honor to see God happy, like playing to God. Like I can do this all day. So you catch me behind the drums, playing so passionately, smiling, enjoying what I'm doing. And I got even not until recently, I found out like it was contagious.
Yeah. Anytime you're playing, you are smiling and laughing.
I didn't even know. Honestly, and that's the beauty of it. I didn't even know. So the name came about. Shout outs to my boy Sammy. Sammy, if you're watching, shout outs to you. So one day I got home. This guy's calling the smiling drummer. The smiling drummer. Every time I see him, the smiling drummer. I'm like, oh,
and that was it.
This name sounds. I mean, it's nice. It's really nice, right? So. And anytime you see me, you just call me Smiling. And then people started picking it up. The smiling drum, it's smiling, even in the comment section. And I was like, you know what? I guess it's about time. It's unique. I'll just take it. And it's to the glory of God. It's flown everywhere. And then anywhere I go,
it's really catchy. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, wow, the smiling drummer. I knew. On that note, guys, it's been an amazing time with Delali, Jesse on 45 TV. And I believe that you guys picked a lot of things from what Jesse shared with us. And this time we're going to bring you another interesting personality who is going to share an amazing story with you that is obviously going to inspire you people. Stay logged on to 45 TV, comment, share, and like our content. Bye.